Hello, beautiful goddess. On this podcast episode, we are talking about how so many women, I'm sure if you're listening to that, you are one of them, are working themselves to the ground and they find their self value in working too much. Right? And this could also turn into living life for the kids and really working and putting everything that is of them into that container, whether it's motherhood, whether your work is your baby, or a lot of you are business owners, whether your business is your baby. And, as babies require a lot of our time. They require a lot of our time, I agree. But sometimes we lose the sense where we need to stop and take a break and rest. And if we keep pushing and pushing and pushing, we go into burnout mode. And we basically turn into this, sticks like that are just like burned sticks that are walking and but not feeling, right? We're like ready to fall. And I never let myself get to that level with my business. Even when I was going through hell just recently, where my attention needed everywhere and I could literally work 24 hours a day and it still would not be enough. So in most of your businesses, your work will take everything you're gonna give it to. Your work will take all of you. So it is your job to set very clear boundaries around your life, around your schedule of when work starts and when work ends. And even though it is so uncomfortable and you're going through this waves of anxiety, oh my God, what's gonna happen if I just not do the work, if I leave it to someone, or if I delegate this. Remember the time when, and a lot of mothers they can't do that, by the way. That's why they're stay-at-home mom, because they can't even give an approval of a thought of leaving their baby to babysitter or taking a baby to the daycare, because the baby needs you. It's your mom. You're the mom. It's your responsibility. Yada yada yada. And we create all these stories that the baby's gonna die or something if we leave the baby with a babysitter, or the babysitter is not gonna take good care of the baby, or if they turn their head away from the baby's gonna fall. They create all these crazy stories, what ifs, and how things can go wrong, and we wind ourselves up and we basically talk ourselves out from receiving that help that I was talking to you about another day. And same thing happens with work. If you're a business owner, your business is your baby and you are terrified to delegate it to another team member because you're afraid I can do it better. Nobody's everyone else is gonna mess it up. And the journey, this is where your self-development journey comes in very strong. Not only you're paying for someone, you're paying someone to and they probably will mess up once or twice, and you're paying them for it. And you just kind of have to become at peace with that idea that, even though, yes, things could happen, I'm going to trust myself, trust the universe, trust that things going to be fine, and I can have my rest. And, if I need to, I'll jump in. But I value my rest. I need to replenish so I can breathe the next morning, right? And that was back when I was going through a really tough period in my business. Finally, things are settled back into their places, and I'm finally back into more of a relaxed state of mind where I can breathe again, and I can go back into, and I can pick up the projects that I left 4 months ago and start working on those projects again. Things happen unexpectedly. You absolutely want to create some sort of backup system of, if you're a business owner, of team members who can do the same tasks, that can jump in when you are not available, or if something happens to original team member who is trained at this point to do the same work. That is very important to know, because your time, your rest is important. But this is not exactly what I came to talk about today. What I came to talk about today is sometimes we are working so hard and it's coming from a different place. Recently with my client, I had a discussion on why she works so much, and we started digging deep into why she works so much, and we have uncovered that her inner fear of her childhood was that the family's not going to have enough money and they're not going to have enough food on a table. But we went even deeper than that. And we have uncovered that it's really not about the food that she was afraid of, or scared about. It was about not being loved. So, digging deep is important, right? Because it uncovers the real reason why you are afraid. Recently, I have asked myself, why am I terrified, or why do I have this knee-jerk reaction when my clients, request to cancel a booking or something, and I have this trigger, I have a trigger. And I had to sit down and take a deeper look into this, right? And yes, we have a policy in place and all that jazz. Yes, we have very strict policies. There is a protocol. But yet every time, and we've done everything to prevent this on the side of things where we are honest with them, where we telling them in the beginning, this is that, there's a contract that they signed and read. And if they don't read, we bring it up to their point, attention. Hey, read this paragraph and this paragraph. I need for you to be very clear before you sign anything, right? But besides all of that we've done all the preventative work, right? Every time somebody, I hear that phrase, I have this trigger or knee-jerk reaction, right? And I had to sit down, and there was a period of time when I was a little more calm about it because I did my spiritual work. Then there was a time when I was really busy with work. I did not have enough time to do the spiritual work, so it created so much tension, so much pressure. Now we are I'm back into where I'm doing my spiritual work in the morning. I'm reminding about the abundance and connecting to the sense of abundance in life. And still, every time I hear that, it triggers. And so I sat down and I had to take a deeper look into why this triggers. And I dug deep. My true fear about this is really me scaling so big right now, taking on this huge, very expensive lease, taking on new team members, and also seeing reports from my accountant where we actually in the minus for the past month, is creating this state of tension. And I know we can increase the revenue, and we just need to work harder. And there is, emergency supply for that time period before we increase that revenue. And, we will make it work. The point is, we will make it work and money will appear. But the tension right now that I'm experiencing is this tension that, hey, we're not hitting our margins, we're not hitting our targets, to where I need to have the supplies to pay my team, to pay for the expenses that are coming up insanely, you're talking 6 figures expenses, right? So it is terrifying. I'm about to piss my pants, right? So it's so scary. And so that triggers not hey, I'm a client, just want I cancel my. No, that triggers that big fear that I'm experiencing, how we're gonna come up with money, right? And so that connection, I cut it off. I cut off that connection. This is not going to depend on this. Like I mentally cut that connection off. This is not going to be connected to this. And I mentally have like, but this will be connected to the bigger sense of abundance that I am manifesting right now. I'm also in the energy work that I'm doing, and also in the physical work that I'm doing with the team and launching new business. Right? And so I've disconnected that. And so when women work so hard in their business and the work, this signifies a few problems here. They're either addicted to work, and that's their way to trying to numb themselves from something that is happening in their life that they're afraid to face, and they're just literally numbing themselves with the busyness. And they might be doing empty work, and it might be like the work, but it's not productive work, right? Or they are connecting their own sense of self-value in life, self-validation in life, to the work and how much money they're making. Those two are very connected, absolutely. However, if you're putting everything and connecting your sense of self-value, if you don't work, if you don't earn money, I'm worth less. Right? I don't have enough self-esteem. I am worthless in the eyes of my partner or my family or this or that. That means they're not gonna, do you see the snowball here? And then you go into thinking like they're not gonna love me as much, or I'm not gonna get enough love. And it always comes down to your own sense of self-deserving, to your own sense of self-validation, to your sense of being loved. And the biggest fear and everything revolves around this. If you dig layers deep into this, it all always comes down to I'm not good enough, and I'm afraid I'm not going to be loved by other people, by my family, by my husband, by my children, and that is the deepest fear that everyone has. And if you've heard me say before, there is only love or fear. What do you choose? You can choose the fear, or you can choose loving thoughts that you are abundant, you are loved, everything is fine. Even though if you are not working that much, you're going to be still fine, and you're going to still be loved by all of your family and your husband and your children, right? So that is what I want to point out to you, because it is important. If you finding all of your sense of self-worth in your own work, some of it is important, but if you're putting all of that into work, you will fail. You will experience rupture. You will feel that something is off, because you're making work your God, but you're not connecting with your God, which is your guidance, the universe, whatever you call that spiritual force is your power, not your work. Your work is not where you find your self-worth. Your spiritual, your inner, your energy is your power, and this is where you need to turn into. Make your spirituality your superpower, not your work.